Bicycle, motorcycle, scooter, one wheel, or even towing a small car or Jeep. Which makes the most sense to save gas, get around, or bring back groceries while traveling in van life? I was at Orlando Studios riding roller coasters the other day and I lost my sunglasses. Being in sunny Florida with light-sensitive, squinting eyes, I quickly wanted another pair. So I found a shop in downtown St. Pete. This was always a busy city and finding parking next to a shop is near impossible. So I drove block after block trying to find an empty space. I was now about a mile away from the shop. I'm exaggerating, but I wanted to quickly get to the store because I had friends to hang out with later at the pier. While on the road, you often need a way to quickly get from the van to a store to buy stuff like groceries or sunglasses, and you don't want to use your precious gas. Sometimes you just want to get away from the van to explore a city or backcountry area for fun. Mostly though, I found myself needing to use normal restrooms without having to drive my van to one, such as if I'm in a nature park and I want to use the facilities there. And that is because I do not have a restroom in this van yet. There will be one soon. In my first van, I carried a small fold-up bicycle around in the front, which made me have to take out the passenger seat to store it in such a small van. Passengers had to ride in the back instead of up front with me. The fold-up bike was great, but it took up way too much space for this tiny living area. So for this new build, even though it's bigger, I wanted something to be able to bring me great distances quickly while fitting under a relatively low bed. I no longer wanted to drive alone, but be able to bring a girlfriend in the front passenger seat with me. I thought first I would mount a dirt bike on the back of the van, but then I wouldn't be able to open the back doors. And there are so many times where you want to just open the back doors to relax, like at a beach parked backwards, you know? Then I thought I might mount it on the front of the van, cutting down visibility slightly over the front dash. Anyone could easily steal it if they wanted to while I was away. I eventually decided an exterior mounted bike was not the best idea. Even two of my van friends had recently gotten rid of their motorcycle because it wasn't convenient for them in these ways. My experience has led me to believe that air resistance or anything you place on the outside of your van will lessen the mileage per gallon way more than if you add weight inside the van. I measured my miles per gallon in the first and second van throughout the build process, and I've been getting a very similar average no matter how much weight I put inside, it seems. Some van lifers have bikes or motorcycles inside their van, which are great if you are willing to compromise on the space. Others have tiny one wheels. A one wheel actually seems to be a great alternative, but they can be very tough to learn how to ride and beginners will easily fall right off. Plus, using one to carry groceries from a store might be pretty awkward. Most big RVs solve the secondary vehicle issue by towing a car or Jeep behind them. Still, this slows the vehicle down, giving you less miles per gallon total, which is what you're trying to do, for your RV, which would add up over many miles. You are really only saving gas in the car at that point. This just really doesn't seem right for van life. Plus now you really wouldn't be able to fit in just any parking spot because you are twice as long carrying an extra vehicle behind you. About a year before buying this new van, I planned to have a small electric scooter that I would place underneath the bed and have its own charging station, charged by the free energy I get from my solar panels. A scooter is way more compact than a bike and folds up nicely under the bed. Electric scooters go for miles on one charge and they can carry a ton of weight. They are already normally seen in cities, so you will not be looked at oddly. They are also safe in moving traffic because they have bright lights on the front and the back, and the headlight on the front for night trips. So a scooter will not take up much space, would not lessen my gas mileage, would allow me to much more quickly get out and go than a fold-up bike. For these reasons, I got a scooter, and I personally believe an electric scooter to be the best option for most van lifers who need a way to get around quickly without using the van's gas. Just the other day, I was in a city and I could not find parking close to the store, so I needed to get to it. So I found a few blocks down and I quickly unpacked my scooter out the back. I got there within 3 minutes. The stores are usually okay with you walking them in and rolling them around with you, so you can keep an eye on it while you're in the store. You don't have to leave it outside. Mine is called the QMY Model A. To me, this one kind of looks simple, like something made by Apple. At the time of this video, it cost about $650, which is about $250 less than comparable models from other brands. The company I got it from reached out to me first, and I jumped on the opportunity because it is what I wanted. I've had the privilege of riding some other much more expensive scooters as well and feeling them out. I feel like this one will actually last me 6 years of constant use because this thing really does feel durable and well built. I don't see it at all when I'm just living day to day because it fits so easily under the bed. And if I want to get to it quickly, I just open up the back doors, pull it out from below, and set the handlebar upright, and it's ready to go. It takes about 10 seconds, whereas my bike in the old van took about an entire minute to unfold. This one travels about 30 miles distance on one full charge. It charges to full in about 4 to 5 hours from empty. Your top speed is 16 miles per hour, and it can climb a hill grade of 27%. It has an anti-theft lock system. If you need to leave it somewhere, you just turn on the scooter and it will remain in park mode until you swipe the NFC tag key over the display. The wheels will not move when you do this. You can also unlock it with a phone app too. The tires are airless, which is nice because you cannot pop them. They're solid rubber. The acceleration feels awesome if you floor it. You do get pushed back a good bit. It's also IP67 waterproof, so you can ride it while it's raining. Below the body, you see that it has some impressive triple suspension. So when riding down a bumpy road, it's actually way more stable. You kind of glide over the bumps, plus you can just adjust the feel of the suspension. To ride it, you simply turn it on, swipe the NFC tag, and then push the throttle down with your thumb. It slows down really nicely too with the opposite thumb. It can come to an emergency stop pretty quickly. So pretty much anyone and their mom could drive these because it's simple like a car with the throttle and the brake. It's very easy for a beginner to balance on, unlike a one-wheel or skateboard. If you need to stop and get off of it, it has a hidden kickstand below too, so you can push it down with your foot. It doesn't seem to blow over in high winds either. This model has super bright headlights you turn on by pressing the power button once. There is also a mode button you double click to select different top speeds or walking mode. The walking mode is for when you are in an area where they prohibit you from riding, so you can get off and walk alongside the scooter, and pressing this throttle in at this point gives a max speed of 4 miles per hour, which is a quick walking pace. You can also use it to ride with someone else who is walking beside you. The last button is a horn, which seems just loud enough to let the people in front of you know that you want to pass. And it's pretty much worked every single time I've used it on busy sidewalks. On the display, it shows your speed, how many miles you've traveled, and the battery left. If you think I'm just making this video as a super positive sponsored video to sell this thing for them, wait until you see one of my next sponsored videos. I have a lot of negative things to say about one item in particular that I am sponsored by. So legit, I am actually very happy with this scooter. Have actually been using it literally every single day for multiple hours. I went to the Love Burn Festival recently. Down here, it's the Burning Man Festival, you know, for the Florida version of it. They had me working at the front gate. I needed a way to get from car to car to quickly keep moving traffic through. The scooter really helped with that. They kept pushing me to use the scooter more and more during this job to help move traffic through quickly. And then if they needed to see if we had any more parking in the 2 lots that we had that we were pushing traffic through, they would get me to quickly ride through and just overview the lots with the scooter, and it was just amazing. So I personally believe an e-scooter is the best option for most people in van life. If any of you have any points contrary to this, please leave them in the comments below. I will also be putting out half of a tour of this van as you see behind me. It's just going to be an update for the progress. There's so much to show already, and this build is pretty much already more than my first build was, you know, with way more coming in the future. So subscribe. It's going to be one of the most technologically packed vans with what I like to call girlfriend-friendly features. It's kind of a goal of mine, you know, in the next few years to find a compatible significant other. So I wanted to make it comfortable for 2. Until then, I'll see you in my next video. Peace.